I am the Red Cyclone! Ah!
Welcome to another episode of the It Gets Better Right Square podcast. I'm your host, Luke Beans, and I'm here with Merc the Mic.
What is going on?
What is up? What is up?
Got a lot of news, man. Power Rangers, I collect the Lightning Collection. I was going to save it for the Morphin Cast, but I'll do it here too, because we always talk about toys anyway. Lightning Collection announced a couple of exclusives for Walmart, and then also exclusives for the Hasbro Pulse store, which is their online store.
Now, Walmart, is it possible to get those figures online?
You could pre-order them. I'll give you all the pre-order information of what it is that's on Walmart. So they announced a 2-pack of Alpha 5 and of Ugly as Zordon.
Now, Zordon has a body?
No, it's just a fucking tube with a
floating
head. Did you go through my stories on Instagram? I just posted his just face.
Okay.
It's a big blue face. That's Zordon.
So now I'll know when I see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have it on there. It's an ugly ass face. It lights up though. But Alpha 5 looks cool. It comes with a little teddy bear.
Show me the picture. Yeah. I have a question. Has there ever been a Zordon?
They had play sets. They had 2 play sets actually. One for the movie and one for the original toys.
Okay. That's what I was thinking.
And they all were ugly.
Oh man, I know you, Tenacious T. Shout outs. Have no affinity for the Zordon.
No, we don't. We like Alpha 5. I like Alpha 5 though. He did all the work.
Wait. Now, are you in the camp that you can't determine what Alpha 5 is, or to you guys is Alpha 5 guy, girl, man, woman? Is it a Mexican? Is it?
Well, the person that's inside the suit?
No. What is Alpha 5 like? What is Alpha 5 supposed to be?
He's an android. He's an android. No.
But is it a guy? Is it a girl? Like I always wonder, or is it unisex?
It's a boy.
Non-sex? It's a guy?
It's a boy, yeah.
Okay.
Because they always count. They call Alpha 5 he at times.
Do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a boy.
Okay. And is Alpha 5 Mexican? Because Alpha 5 is notorious for saying yeah.
No, he's not Mexican.
Okay.
If anything, he's not.
It was the 90s, and you know how blatant it could be. So,
but Alpha 5 was kind of like had a child's mind with all the smarts he had. He kind of was developed as a child. Like he has like a teenager tendency.
Okay.
And that was the thing about Alpha 5. But I always liked the Alpha 5, so I kind of got that 2-pack. That's one of the Walmart exclusives. And then the other Walmart exclusive is the Power Morpher with coins. That you put each coin, you press the button, it will morph with the color of the coin, which is pretty cool. My big thing is I don't really collect props, but this is probably the first prop I buy because I like the stand it has. So pretty much it has like a stand for the Morpher, and then it has a place for each coin. Okay. And I actually like the way it is, and I'm like looking at it, I'm like, you know what? I might find a way to display this with my Lightning collection. I think it will look cool. So that's the only reason why I pre-ordered it.
You know what would look cool is if you could have a full-size stand of Tommy Oliver holding his hands out in the Morphin Time stance, and then you put it on his hands.
Yeah, but that's the other thing that's Walmart exclusive. So those 2 are available for a pre-order right now. You could pre-order them. I think they're still available. The other one is a Walmart exclusive. This is a Hasbro exclusive. It's 3 of them. One is the My Little Pony Pink Ranger.
Okay.
If you're a brony or if you like My Little Pony, it is a version of the Pink Ranger as a pony, and it actually looks pretty cool. If you're into that.
It's in the cartoon style.
Yeah,
As in, like, the
the
most
old
current iteration?
what they always looked like.
See, I'm not familiar with them. I'm
They-
only familiar.
they look
okay, I'll tell you my history of My Little Pony is that I know they had 2 phases so far, right?
Yeah,
There was the original that were older, like back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
which had the commercials, the real life commercials with the little girls and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they went away for a while, and then they came back with a different resurgence, and that's when they have the cartoon, and they have the new look to them.
But the toys never really changed as
They
much.
didn't. They always had that like really exaggerated features and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah. The toys
thought they-
never
I thought-
hasn't really changed.
I thought they used to look like real horses and stuff.
No,
like
not
the
even
old-
back in the day. They didn't really look. They look like miniature horses with hair.
They didn't have like anime eyes, did they?
No, they had like they look more real horses, but they were like miniature ones, and they had hair that you could comb and
You
shit.
could brush. That was the little thing. Yeah, the
Yeah.
girl in commercial with the brush. Yeah.
So that was
Okay.
announced as a Hasbro exclusive. Also announced was the Psycho Green Ranger, which is really popular in the comic book. I'm sadly have not read anything about him yet, so I don't have like more information of the character and what he is. All I know, he is the prototype of what the Psycho Rangers became. So he's the
Really?
first,
Okay.
and he's exclusive to the comic books. So they've been releasing a lot of the comic book characters, like Lord Draken, like the pink, the Ranger Slayer, and now it's the green Psycho Ranger.
Hey man, how you feel about Power Rangers not being an Evo?
I'm a little disappointed because the online service works better than the Smash Brothers, so I'm a little disappointed they didn't make it.
Yeah, that makes me sad. But Smash Brothers didn't either, so.
Yeah. Anyway, the other exclusive to the Hasbro Pulse is the 2-pack putties.
That's awesome. That might be the first 2-pack that I have to go out of my way to find.
I'll tell you one thing, and I know what a lot of people are mad about. I know
That
a
it's not
lot of motherfuckers bought many of the Green Ranger putty 2-pack to get a bunch of putties.
Oh, they did that. Yeah.
So they did this, and every single one that has bought more than 3 Green Rangers spent about $50 each.
Yeah.
Is mad, and I'm glad they're mad because they're fucking greedy. So now I have 3 putties. That's all I need.
That's awesome. But I'm mad. I'm mad because it doesn't come with a Z putty next to the regular putty.
You know, I think what they could have easily done is like have a changeable chest plate.
Yeah, but they wear the white long johns.
But-
I like.
Yeah, that's true. They do wear white, but these are lighter than the one that came with the Green Ranger.
Okay, so at least they're very distinct.
So like
you
what
won't-
they could have easily done is just make a chest piece to cover the black lines, because the black lines only exist on the chest. It's not on the legs or arms.
True. That's true.
So they could have easily just made a Z piece.
But I bet you they will. Watch.
That'll be like the alternative putty. My disappointment with this is the fact that, again, I think they could have been a bit more creative with what they did. But
Okay.
other than that, I like what they're releasing. I don't mind it. Fuck Zordon. I really don't care for him. But I do like Alpha 5, so I'm going to get it anyway. And then I think I'm going to have all like the Rangers stomping on him.
Does he? What is he like? Just a plastic head?
He's a tube. It's a tube head.
Oh, it's a tube. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, all right. It's a tube. That's
Yeah.
see. All right, I like that. I like
Yeah.
that.
What else we got? And then, last but not least, they did announce the title of the new season coming out later this year, which is Power Rangers Dino Fury. I do not like the name because they had a Jungle Fury. Sounds too much like that. And if you actually look at the costumes and their face, it looked more like Knights. Dino Knights would have worked better than Dino Fury.
Gotcha.
And what
And
bothers me also is the fact that they are Red Knight, this, Blue Knight, this, Green Knight, that. But they should have just called them the Dino Knights.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
That was a
So,
little disappointing.
when Power Rangers debuts, where do they debut first? What network
Nickelodeon.
or service? Okay.
Yeah, they are on Nickelodeon. They're exclusive to Nickelodeon, so they will debut on there, and you can actually watch it on their website as well.
Oh, really? Wow.
And last but not least, Lord Draken is actually getting his own comic book miniseries as well. So it's going to be a 5-part series about the kind of what became of him and how he became Lord Draken and shit like that. So I think that'd be interesting.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, that's all my Power Ranger news. They made me broke. I pre-ordered everything. They made me broke.
Before we get into the verdict for this week, which is Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
Yep.
From 2001.
Yes.
Just have a few things to bring up right now because we do this live. Namco Bandai or Bandai, man, it's the other way around. Bandai Namco is actually doing on their official channel for fighting games called the Bandai Namco Fight Channel.
Yeah.
They're doing a showcase for the newest character in Dragon Ball Fighters with a Z.
Yes.
And it's Goku UI is the official, is what it says, but that stands for Goku Ultra Instinct, which is Goku, who usually has a black head of hair. He has silver hair, and he just stands there with this menacing look on his face.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what's up with the character, but they've shown a few snippets of what he could do, and it just looks ridiculous. Is probably one of the I know the MO of Dragon Ball is everybody looks cool. Somebody has something that looks freaking ridiculous, but this character looks like it's just a cool character. And you know what? I'm not mad.
Cool.
And I see people just upset because he has one thing that looks ridiculously overpowered. Good, because everybody in that game is nuts. So let's see what they do. So that's going on right now on their channel. But you can check out I'm sure there's gonna be because the streams are archived on YouTube, so it'll just be up there. But it's the Bandai Namco Fight channel. Yeah. And what was the other thing I brought up? It was game related.
Evo Online Smash Brothers not being on it.
The announcement for Evo Online was last week, but Evolution, the world's largest fighting game tournament for 2020, because they're not having a physical space because of the circumstances in the world.
COVID.
They're gonna do the online version, but when they announced the lineup this past week, people freaked out because Smash Brothers is not in there, and they showed other games that they put on. One of the ones is a RedCycloneInc favorite, Skullgirls. Yep. So shout out to the Jinkies.
Jinkies loves the physics.
He's a diehard fan. He has it on the Vita.
He loves the physics.
Yes, he loves it. But so what they're trying to focus on now is games with good netcode. They actually pushed Street Fighter V down into an exhibition tournament.
Oh shit.
Because they can't sustain a longer format of tournament because it would just look bad.
So who's the top tier? Who's the top tier?
Like for video game netcodes?
Yeah.
I can't say unanimously because there's like 2 fighting games that aren't in it that supposedly have very, very good, and that's Marvel Infinite, which people up and down swear is amazing, but it's not in there. What will be there is Killer Instinct. That's coming back to be a main game.
Good.
So KI is going to have a main spot as one of the main tournaments.
Well, it has a great. Microsoft did great with that netcode over there.
Yeah. I mean, it's that's how you do a first-party fighting game.
Yeah.
You don't mess it up. So, Nintendo needs to work on that. But they focused on games unanimously, so that's gonna be Killer Instinct is coming back because usually a game does not stay there for that long.
Okay.
Due to the morning to rotate it out, and that game's at this point is kind of old. That's coming back. Skullgirls is getting promoted. Mortal Kombat 11 is getting so the MK11 is going to be there.
I'm happy about that because it got kicked out in the beginning.
Yeah, it did. It was just the popularity kind of flopped. I don't know why, but the tournament scene just wasn't as big as it was, even though they had events for it.
Yeah,
It just wasn't popping off.
But their netcode is good.
Yeah. Another
RoboCop
one that
won't
people
be
didn't know what it was is a game called Fighting Horses. I think.
fighting horses. Okay.
It's interesting. It's super interesting. It's like My Little Pony. I think it's My Little Pony's. I don't know. If
Okay, I've
branded.
seen videos of that. It is kind of weird.
See, I don't think it's branded, right?
Okay.
But if you looked at the two and you didn't know it, you would think it was a My Little Pony fighting game. Is what I mean.
Okay.
So,
I've seen it before. I've seen people playing it.
Yes. So they're looking at that to be one of the main games this year. Like, there's a bunch of games that people were like, wow, I would never expect that. Tekken 7 obviously still there, although the fans of that game were saying, the netcode for Tekken 7 is not good.
No.
Soul Calibur 6, no real complaints. Grand Blue Fantasy, and Samurai Showdown. Samurai Showdown has some of the most notoriously bad netcode out of any modern fighting game. I don't know what they're gonna do. That's gonna be interesting. I think Dragon Ball is still there.
Yeah.
And I think the last game is Under Night In-Birth.
Okay.
Because the ones that got taken out were Smash, and Street Fighter V was demoted to like a exhibition tournament.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of mock-ups of fans making some. So like you'll see some that they'll have like the brackets, and it'll be the 9 boxes, and then people put like Mark of the Wolves remake because SNK went back and redid the netcode.
Okay.
Because it's a classic. It's on the Switch, so you can check that out if you want.
Yeah.
And Power Rangers Battle for the Grid.
Yeah.
That did not make it.
Boo.
And that's one that so many fans are disappointed because it's almost, again, like Killer Instinct. It's almost unanimous that everybody's like, this is some of the best netcode out there. So
that, and also the game that game took a 180 than it was before.
It was a slow burn, and I think they wanted people to know it was going to be like that. Yeah. But I guess people just didn't know how good it was from the beginning coming up. They just thought it was going to be a cash grab, and like, no, we have real people here. We're trying to build something. And like they kept at it, and people slowly was like, yo, you seen this shit?
Yeah. I'm a little disappointed because I support that game. I bought that game 3 times.
Is that good?
I
think it's on sale right now too. I think it's on sale.
I'm more bought it because I'm a Power Ranger fan than I am. It was a fighting game. I bought it to support it because even that fucking the crappy beat 'em up they did, I bought it twice because I actually enjoyed it. It wasn't that great, but I enjoyed it for what it was. It was a Power Ranger game. Like, you barely get any, and Power Rangers in general should be having mad video games.
Yeah.
Why? We have not had so many good games.
You know, I'll tell you why. Because for the longest time they were, but that was when they were with Bandai.
Yeah, that's true.
And
no, but even
Bandai.
But then Bandai wasn't really making their games either.
Yeah, they were. They were making a lot of their games, but they weren't. Here's the thing: they weren't really that great.
Yeah. And
they weren't really high profile, which is the other shame. But if they weren't great, you probably don't want to talk about them that much.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch post like Super Nintendo into like the like I want to say PS3 360 era.
Yeah.
They were, and it was like this is not good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I could tell you there has not been a good Power Ranger game on PS2, on N64, on Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, I can't. Damn. See, I would fight you on Game Boy Advance, but like, yeah, you're right. Good. I can't think of any.
I played them. Like I bought them very cheap at the last video game con. I got the SPD, I got the Lightspeed, and I got fucking Time Force. So they're all the fucking same game.
Wow.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, you know what? We can make that whole episode about that someday. About how many times game companies sold you the same games back then. I was like, yo, what is this?
Yeah. But at least they're trying their best to keep Evo alive, and them doing this is the way to do it. I support it. Like, I'm happy that they're actually trying, because not a lot of companies are trying to keep some shit going.
Yeah,
So
this is true. This is true.
And they're
So,
registering
we'll see.
refunds.
We'll
was
see. I
reading-
believe Evo is in August this year, so we got a little time before everything is finalized.
Yeah.
You know,
And also how it's gonna work, and how they're gonna do the online, and how that will affect it. There's a way of, like, say for instance, someone gets cut off. Do they get automatically eliminated, or they gotta restart the game? It's gonna be a lot of shit.
that's an interesting one. Oh boy, dude. Yeah, you just reminded me.
There's like a lot of rules that they don't have to like make because of this, because it's not an easy process. What if you're on the bandwidth, right? Evil's main comp thing is high, right? But the guy Bob that's playing Tekken 7 against Bill, his is a 2, his is a 5. If he gets cut off, does he automatically win?
Yeah, who loses, who wins? Do you restart it? How many times can you restart? Like, this is gonna present an interesting, like, turn of events. That's all I have to say.
But at least,
especially when it comes to, especially when it comes to Street Fighter,
yeah,
because Smash was the one people were saying it was gonna put Nintendo on blast. And I also heard rumors that it might be Nintendo who asked to have the game removed.
yeah, because they're like, yo, let's not chill out, yo.
Like, they know, so that's even worse.
But the Pokemon game didn't make it either. The Pokemon
Pocket.
that
Well,
Pokemon fighting game
that
as well.
made it to Evo, but not main stage. But
Okay.
it's just the entrance, the number of entrants is low. That's what it
Okay.
was. Like, usually, an old game can still stay if the entrants for it are high.
Yeah.
That game just kind of slowly died off. So it is what it is with it. But like you said, yeah, I'm very curious to see what that brings with the internet.
Yeah.
Like, game. Oh man. Whew. We're going places, because I
Yeah.
know
I
next
just sent you
generation,
something. I just sent you something. Just look at it.
next generation, people gonna be pissed off.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's a terrifying mug. You can't send me a picture and pretend we can't talk about that. That might have to be the picture for the podcast. That's disturbing. Was that in a documentary?
No, I just was randomly searching. I was just randomly looking at my Facebook thing, and someone posted. I'm just gonna leave this here, and it says Michael Jordan Space Jam ceramic mug in 1996.
That's terrifying. Wow. It doesn't even. No, it looks nothing like. No. Who's that black guy? Who is that?
Yeah, honestly, man, it looks more like Jordan's father than it looks like Jordan.
Oh, it does. It
Yeah.
does.
And little thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically it. That picture though, come on, man, you can't do that. That's gotta.
It's gonna be
Sorry,
Tomb,
Tomb Raider,
it's
you
gonna be
might
Tomb
get
Raider
bumped.
staring at that ceramic mug.
She might have to get bumped.
Yo, you know what we should find a picture of her getting the little compass looking shit,
Oh,
and instead of the
yeah.
compass, we put the Michael Jordan picture.
Oh, that's ugly. Ooh,
Yeah.
what? Oh, how much did that cost? That's what I want to know.
Probably
I'm about to look that up.
$15.99. It's like $10.99 to $15.99. That's literally how much mugs cost.
You'd be surprised. There's some $25, man. What is it? Michael Jordan.
You won't have to like live eBay it and see if it exists.
Yeah, Space Jam mug. I have to put 1996 because I don't know if they made it. Oh Lord, when you Google that, you see more. Oh, it's terrifying. They have one with the box it came in. Who is that black guy? That is
Oh
not
shit! There's a full face one.
You see it, right? Like this one that looks like it's made out of chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
terrifying. $19.95 for the chocolate head one, and the one you showed me, $26.99. So it's not, like I said, $25 mug, and that's on. It's used on Etsy. What?
Yeah.
I don't want no used mug.
Yeah, they're gonna be old, so most likely they're used.
Oh,
I found it for $12 on eBay.
Who used that?
I don't know, but I kind of want it.
That's terrifying.
I might buy it.
Look, see if there's a Bugs Bunny one.
There's not a Bugs Bunny one. There's one that has a cartoon of Bugs Bunny on it. Like it has the Space Jam logo. Bugs Bunny has mugs like that, but it's not from Space Jam. It's from like.
But they look like Bugs Bunny and not some other rabbit.
Well, Bugs
right?
Bunny is a cartoon. Michael Jordan is a human.
Michael Jordan is one of the most famous at the time black men on the planet. How you make him look like some other black guy? It's not. Look. Yeah, hold on. It's not even that it's bad to look at. He almost looks like Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, he does. I think he looks more like Samuel Jackson.
That's the problem.
Motherfucking coffee.
All right. We should, yeah.
All right. Let's get into our verdict of
Lara Croft to Tomb Raider, or if you're Daniel Craig, Lara.
We saw a young Daniel Craig. He still looked old, but he was young.
Yeah, he looked like his hairline was about to go. He always looks like he's about to lose his hairline.
Yeah.
He never does, but it's like it's about to go.
Yeah. Lara Croft Tomb Raider, starring.
And he's the guy I confused with Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
Because they look similar.
So, starring Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft. You have John Voight, which is her father. Plays her father in the movie.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ian Glenn as the main villain.
Who I'd say was he reminds me of a Bond villain.
Yeah. And you had Daniel Craig played Alex West. Noah Traylor as Bryce, which is her...
The tech man. The
tech
nerd.
man. He was the Charlie's father in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the remake.
Oh, okay. All right.
Johnny Depp. And, yeah, those are the main actors that you see on this.
The butler, I believe I just want to get him because he was actually pretty funny.
Chris Berry.
Yeah, I haven't really seen him in anything else, right?
He was in both Lara Croft Tomb Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Red Dwarf, which was a spoof film of Red Dawn.
Really?
He was in a lot of British movies. He's not he's not an American actor, so he's in a lot of British stuff.
Gotcha.
So that's why you probably won't see him much. This movie came out. Where is it?
2001.
2001.
Yes, sir. They say June 15th, 2001.
June 15th, 2001.
In the US.
Did pretty decent. Budget was 115 million. It made 131 million, so it grossed. It made 274 million total throughout the year. So it redid its budget. That's why I got a sequel. Really good opening for a video game movie. It was 47 million.
Oh, okay. All right.
So that was not bad. Yeah, this is the hype.
I'm trying to see the references that the game is possibly drawing from, because it's based on Tomb Raider, which is a character that was originated in 1996. So that means if this movie took place in 2000, I'm trying to figure out how many Tomb Raider games came out.
This was during Angel of Darkness. That was the last game that came out, and that the shit game was
2003. That's the other movie probably has stuff from that thing. This is 2001. 2001 is when this movie came out. So the last Tomb Raider game was 2001, Curse of the Sword. I've never heard of that. Have you?
I'm gonna look.
Tomb Raider Curse of the Sword?
I think that was the.
Maybe that was like Game Boy.
Let me see.
Because it says like between 2000 and 2003 there's no game, but 2000 has Tomb Raider Chronicles. Okay, I remember. I had that for Dreamcast. 99 was Last Revelation. 98 was 3. 97 was they came out like 1 year after the other. Holy shit. Yo, so apparently Tomb Raider was working from from 1996 to 2000, she did not skip a year.
Yeah. So that's when Crystal Dynamics started taking over. No,
Which
they
year
took
was
over.
it? It was 2000.
Nah, she came out during the last shitty games, pretty much. The movie came out during the last shitty games. Because 2003 was the Angel of Darkness, which was shit.
But the movie came out before 2003.
Yeah,
So
and then
it's not based on a game that didn't come out. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
yeah, the Game Boy
2000.
one, Raider, the Curse of that's the Game Boy colored one. The one before that was 2000. It was Chronicles, which
You have
wasn't a good
experience
game.
with that one?
It wasn't a
I
good
never
game.
played. I had a bootleg copy, I think, of it. And I think I played it once because it didn't stand out.
The last
Like, by
good
that
game
time-
of that run was 2.
Of who? Crystal Dynamics, you said?
Oh no, Tomb Raider, the original Tomb Raider. That was part of the original Tomb Raider series.
No, they're all in order. They just stopped using numbers after 3.
Yeah, and the last good one was 2.
Okay. Because I didn't. Yeah, I guess I didn't play a lot of these. I had 3. 3 was alright though. 3 was boring.
Yeah,
Way too long.
yeah. I liked.
And I can't tell you about Last Revelation. No. Last Revelation I had. I think that's the one where you get to play as her as a little girl, right?
I think
she has
so.
a flashback.
Yeah.
Yes, 16-year-old. Yeah. So that one came out in '99, where you play as Lara when she was 16, and she was on an expedition in Cambodia, and that's like about the only mission I got through. That was boring.
Yeah.
And then Chronicles is one that I did not play. Okay.
Chronicles wasn't good.
Oh, you had? Did you ever?
It
you
wasn't
remember
good.
playing it?
I remember playing it. It wasn't good.
Gotcha.
It wasn't
Yeah,
good.
that-
And then the one 3 years later, the fucking Angel of Darkness. That was like the worst Tomb Raider game I ever played in my life.
That might be the first video game on a major console that I remember crashing.
Yeah.
That wasn't on the Nintendo. Because
And then-
Nintendo games, you had to go on.
And then after that, that's when Crystal Dynamics took over and kind of redid the look of Lara Croft and made her look more like human-like and shit because she was a squarehead.
Yeah, that was weird too. For the longest time, even when the graphics were going up,
Yeah, she's
they
still
had
kind of the
kept
same.
the weird shape of
Mhm.
her. And which is one thing in the movie, it's almost like Angelina Jolie has to stand a certain way to push her chest out. Because it's evident in the movie. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen Angelina Jolie in movies at that time,
Yeah.
and her posture and the way she stood in that movie really just was like, that's not how a human being normally just, like, she had like a superhero pose.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what is this? But yeah, that's Tomb Raider, right?
I guess this
That's
movie
Tomb
tried.
Raider.
I guess this movie kind of captured like the first game because you see a lot of the stuff in the house. Remember in the game, you kind of trained in the house.
Well,
you learn how to
it has
do
stuff from
jumps.
2. It has like the plot from 1, but the ice thing is in 2.
Yeah.
With where you actually go to the, because it's a mix of the games because when you find because in the first game she has like this thing called the Sign of Atlantis that she's looking for, and it almost one for one parallels with like the clock in the
Yeah.
clock, not the clock. The clock was the thing that was hidden inside of. What is like the piece of this powerful artifact? Like it was broken into 2,
Mm-hmm.
but the piece that the father left her is similar to. It almost looks like it.
Okay.
So they kind of mixed up the first 2 movies. For better or for worse, I don't know. It's I would say Angelina Jolie's character, just Lara Croft, is pretty much accurate.
Yeah.
At least how she was written in the game, because I'll tell you this also, even though Tomb Raider is a game that it did have cutscenes, there wasn't much story.
No.
It was always like, she's going here and this is what she's looking for.
Yeah.
And the story kind of unfolds in what happens to you when you're adventuring. Like, oh shit, there's dinosaurs. There's not like a backstory on why there's dinosaurs. You just walk into a place you're looking for an artifact. You walk in a cave, and there's dinosaurs in it. You know what I mean? Like, there's a guy there's a blonde dude. I guess he's the guy I told you about. I guess that was like her rival.
Yeah.
In the original, I think it was in the first game and in the second game. He's like this blonde guy. Remember, trying to picture these characters is hard because on PlayStation they just a bunch of blocks.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he wasn't as detailed as Lara, but there was a male character that was kind of like Daniel Craig's character, except he would try to kill you.
Yeah.
This guy shot at you and stuff in the game.
Yeah.
So. But he was basically your rival. So there's back and forth there, and it's not an inaccurate concept. I think I'm not 100% sure about where her father went in the game. I don't know if he disappeared on a dig or something like in this game, like in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly everything else, the way she acts, her attitude towards everything is extremely like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm Lara Croft. I'm a badass.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you can't really be mad at it from that aspect. Like, it's extremely dated, I will say.
Yeah.
This is a early 2000s, late 90s movie. This is influenced heavily by The Matrix in the cinematography. There was lots of slow-mo. There was lots of techno.
Mm-hmm.
This is just like, its fingerprints are all over this movie. So from that aspect, it's just like, this is a product of its time. And if you don't like those things, you're not really gonna like this movie too much anyway.
Yeah.
But is it a bad movie? No. It's completely like standard. It's something like that. If it came on Saturday on like channel 11, you might watch it. If you've never seen it before, and you'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like,
it's not something I'm not gonna go back and watch.
Yeah, you're not gonna be in a rush to see this. Oh, what did I miss in Tomb Raider? You saw it once. You good?
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah. We got our first side boob.
Oh, and the video game movie so far. Yeah, this is. Yeah, and it's early on in the movie too. But again, it's on brand with the character.
Yeah, and it also kind of paid homage to like the code back in the day. Remember
There was never a code. It was always
it was a bullshit code.
It was a hack. It was somebody hacked the game with something, and they made her look like she was naked, and then they put it in magazines. Oh man, and there's a mysterious nude code for Tomb Raider, but
and everyone tried it, and
if you have PC, you could just mod it in.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it kind of paid
no,
homage.
but see, that wasn't even a nod to that. In the games, like, she takes a shower.
Yeah. But also like in the beginning, it also reminds me of the beginning of the game as well. Is that you're in the house and you're learning how to do a lot of the mechanics of the game in the house.
Yeah, you're seeing her skill set.
Yeah.
And which is interesting when she has like an Egyptian playset in her house. Which I think is funny.
She got the money.
I think she is loaded.
She got the Bruce
To the
Wayne.
gills. She has a headband.
Yeah.
They don't show it. Okay, so like early on, the only real thing that's different is that the butler's not an old man, because that's one of the staples. Is that the butler, he's an old man, and in the second game, when you have the gun out, he has the dinner plate on his chest as armor, and a pot on his head. So it just looks funny because you can shoot him.
Yeah.
He falls down. He makes this hilarious sound. But like, yeah, that's about it. And they introduce you to the butler and the tech guy real early. Like that's also a product of his time. The tech guy.
Yeah.
Everybody had to have that kind of hacker, just dude covered in wires all the time, disheveled man. Like, that was just a thing.
It makes sense for what she did, though.
Yeah. So it stood out, but it's also just very dated the way he was portrayed.
Yeah.
Like you say, you know him as an actor who did other things from this, so you know.
Yeah.
I didn't know who the hell he was.
I just remember him Charlie in Chocolate Factory. He was Charlie's dad.
Okay. So Um, but let's see. The plot was she was just having a good day. Because like the entire thing starts with her just wrecking shop, practicing in her little home temple, and being pissed when the guy had the robot kill her. But he was pissed that she used live ammo, so like they were even, and she was dragging a giant robot. It was just like, damn, how heavy was that robot? um, and like there's no real plot to her day.
Yeah.
And then they go to, I think it's Venice, which is also a central. Again, it's like the reason why I'm saying it mixes two is the main area, and two is Venice.
Yeah.
So like they really mixed it between those first two games. Thankfully, they did not have anything from like Chronicle or that. But so the bad guys, you find out very quickly because of the basically the symbology.
Yeah.
The Illuminati are looking for this artifact, and they very thoroughly explain to you when they need it by, because like that's the thing, the date, 5,000 years if you miss the time frame. What it can do, they let you know early, from their point of view, because then you also get Lara's father explaining about what it does later on.
Yeah.
So like you get these, you learn very early there's a powerful artifact, so that already falls right into something that would happen in the game. The main villain shows up, and the funny thing is, you know how usually these things are a surprise reveal? This is actually kind of contrary. They show you the villain up front.
Yeah.
No surprise. Like, you know he's with the Illuminati right off the bat. Yeah. So she's in the dark, but they don't keep us in the dark. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So he has to find the artifact within the week. He promises them he'll find it, but he doesn't know. And so then you go back to Lara, and she's having the night flashes, the dreams about her father who disappeared.
Yeah.
And that's when she's getting the notion, because apparently she can hear the clock ticking, and it just gave her that nightmare or whatever.
Yeah.
Then she goes down. Here she follows the ticking to under the stairs and bashes it open, and then hey, I found the exact spot where this thing was, and then I knew there was a light switch on the side of the wall. Like, there were a few things in that scene I was like, this scene is too convenient.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of one of the things I could knock against the movie, but it's also like it's not that long of a movie, you know. So you gotta go at a certain pace.
One thing with this movie, you were pretty much predicted. Like, you could easily predict when there's gonna be a big fight scene.
Yeah.
Like, you knew there was a fight scene coming when she set her up self, like, especially when she went on the trampoline thing. Here's the fight scene.
But you know what's again? So okay, we go through that. She's in her pajamas and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then they have the thing where, because first she meets the guy.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get too ahead, but first she meets that guy because she's trying to figure out what the hell is this thing she found on her stairs. Because then there's a funny scene where they're trying to look through the clock to see what is this, and blah blah blah. And it's like character building between her and the butler and the tech guy and whatnot. She takes a hammer and smashes it, and then she finds I forgot what it's called, like a compass. Oh, the compass. Yeah, basically it's a compass. So she finds that compass, and she doesn't know what the hell it is, where it's going to. Like, then she takes it to, and you find out very quickly that the guy knew her father.
Yeah.
And he's like he deals in ancient artifacts. He's at a auction house, and so she drives her motorcycle there, all badass and whatnot, all black with the shades on, sitting there with the boots up in the middle, while everybody else is stuffy. Like, again, is the movie, like, it's hard to take the movie kind of serious because her character's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the thing about her character, Tomb Raider, is ridiculous. So one part you're sitting here like, man, this is really like ham-fisted. Like, this is just nuts. No woman would just do that. But then if you go from the Tomb Raider video games, Tomb Raider would totally do that. Like, she's rich, so she would have access to these things.
Yeah.
And that's just her attitude. She's also for the 90s, she was super cool. So part of being cool is being a badass, and being a badass is like, I'll wear a leather pantsuit to this
And that was
auction.
kind of the actress that portrayed her as well. Like she was kind of casted in that sense as well throughout the whole that during this time as well.
As a cool person.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like she was the kind of the every like she was like the crazy girl and the Girl Interrupted. She was like this. She was this main character that they were trying to look kind of like what they did with Ruby Rose and fucking like John Wick 3, like John Wick 2 in that sense. Like she was a badass and they wanted to portray her still more as this badass kind of character.
I can see that.
Mhm.
I guess, but also I guess she picked. I think she liked the role because of how the character looked,
Yeah.
and that she felt she could portray it too. 'Cause I remember there was something about like, oh yeah, she could easily. There was rumors about her way before she was actually
Yeah.
a character, and then I remember like, oh yeah, because she looks like what they're trying to portray, but like a human being.
Yeah.
Because once again, it was the 90s,
Yeah.
and the 90s taught you anything. When a man draws a woman, it sure as shit is not accurate. It was, she was basically like a Liefeld character that got away,
Yeah.
except she had her feet intact.
Yeah.
Because Rob Liefeld.
Can't
Let's not talk about Rob Liefeld. The less said about him and his drawings, the better. He brought us Cable and Deadpool, and we'll leave him alone.
Yeah.
All right. But anyway, the cool factor. So she's at the auction house. She goes and she finds out what the thing is, and this is where I kind of give the movie credit. There's a twist right away. It's very subtle. That guy turns her in to the Illuminati. It's fucked up. Because then when she leaves from him saying, I don't know what you have. They go back, they flash back to the guy when she's on her way home and whatnot.
Yeah.
And he's in his office and he says to the picture of her father, please forgive me.
Yeah.
And then the next scene is when he said to her, I have a guy. This is after the scene where he said to her, I have a guy to send you to, and it's the bad guy. So like right away she kind of gets screwed and she gets set up by the Illuminati. I guess that's just to show like the reach, because it's the freaking Illuminati. You know what I mean? Like you don't know whose turn, like who might be on the other side. So yeah, there's that. But then there's also, I didn't get this, and maybe he's not betraying her. Maybe he believes in them, because there's a thread there later in the movie, because you find out the father's in the Illuminati. So maybe he's not really betraying her. I don't know.
I don't know.
Thinking I was thinking too hard about this dumbass movie. But like, and this basically sets up the first confrontation between Lara Croft and the main villain. And like I said, he just reminded me of a Bond villain. He's got perfect slick back hair. He's got henchmen. He's got a palace. He's all eccentric. He's got his Indian seat. He's got his guru seats where they sit down, and like there's like just pillows and stuff to sit on. Like this guy. So you can just get the vibe that he's evil. She's like, "What do you do?" And he's like, "I'm a lawyer." And he's like, "What? You a lawyer? Who do you represent?" Because what lawyer lives like this? And he's just like, the clocks are his hobby. Like that's his defense to try to hide his evil.
Yeah.
Bad secret. So you could tell already she doesn't trust him. She doesn't tell him. She doesn't even bring the thing with her. She brought a picture of it to show him. Which, obviously she's one step ahead, and then that, and then her thinking she was smart. Oh, they don't want to hear that. Her thinking she was smart. He was a step ahead of her, because then they go back. She's home chilling. And that's the scene you mentioned with her at night, and the butler's like, "Good night, don't stay up too late." And she's in her literally in her pajamas on this bungee thing in the middle of her giant mansion in the living room.
Yeah.
Just spinning. And then again, kind of ties in with the game. She would do some crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
Because the funny thing is, there's an obstacle course in her living room. So, yeah. But also the classical music that plays kind of like is also a nod to the game, because even though this is a 90s movie with mad techno, one of the things that they do play in the game is sometimes like when things are gonna happen, they'll play classical music.
Yeah.
Different themes and stuff. So that's one of the things. I'm surprised they didn't play the real ass Tomb Raider theme from the game at some point. Also, I should mention, I told you before we watched it, Mark, I don't know if you looked for it. Did you listen to her and how many times they made her make the
yes
sound for everything?
Yes.
That's from the game.
Yes.
They did that on purpose, and that was so weird.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
Especially in the beginning scene.
It wasn't sexual sounding that made it, that that wasn't that what made it awkward. It was just like, I know you're doing this to make her be more like the video game character, and that's weird.
Yeah, like in the beginning scene when she's fighting the robot, you like really hear it.
Like almost every action scene when she's falling around.
So this fight scene kind of annoyed me.
Okay,
because everyone fucking bungee jumped. You had everyone on fucking rope. Like how big your fucking ceiling was.
I loved it. I'll tell you why I liked it. And this was like my favorite fight scene in the movie, and that's about it. All the rest of them was whatever, but this one was actually like, I thought it was funny. It was just kind of, there we go again, Mark. This movie had so many convenient things happen. So conveniently, the guy's minions come in on bungee cords through the roof, like through her glass ceiling, and they bungee in. And it's just like they're dressed to the nines, tactical gear. Like, I don't know what gun that is, but with a big ass silencer on it. And it's just like she just dispatches them easily. But the thing I like about that is because it makes sense for somebody as crazy as her who does shit like that on the regular to be just like Spider-Man against these dudes. Because you would think part of being a soldier, you don't spin yourself around like a madman. You don't run on the walls like a crazy person. That's not tactical.
So this is my problem too. It was raining. It was raining in the house. How the fuck she got gripped on the ceiling, on the walls?
Lord. Dude, how was she running so fast on the walls? I love when they showed the difference between her and the stunt person. Yeah, that shit had me dying. Because you could tell when it was her because they showed her face obviously, but when she was doing it, she was going so like at a decent speed. Yeah. When they showed her going full blast, running on the walls, you knew that wasn't her. Oh Lord, that's one of the other things that kind of was like, oh, this movie took place during the era when actors didn't do their own fight scenes completely. There were some people, the Jackie Chans, blah blah blah, the people who get the credit for it, but Angelina Jolie was not doing all the fight scenes, and anything that you saw her face in, it was more like realistic, slow paced, like, okay, she's throwing a kick here, she's doing a counter to a punch here. It wasn't superhero stuff that makes me so mad in some movies where it's like, and I hate to, and I don't want to sound sexist, but when a woman of her weight, because you saying she's like 100 pounds talking wet. Yeah. You cannot hit another human being with enough force because you can't generate enough force to knock a grown man out. Stop playing. But in this movie they didn't really do that, but in this scene they did. Yeah. But they did it in a quote unquote believable way, because the way she was knocking the dudes out was literally like knocking them into each other, or she would cut the rope and they would just fall. Yeah. It was the only thing was like, it was again because of that era, it wasn't really like violent falls. Also, this movie is PG-13. She didn't kill anybody. She killed like one person. If you notice, she didn't kill anybody. She never shot a gun at anybody to kill them. In this scene, she did not shoot a gun. She didn't murder anybody. They were trying to kill her with real bullets and tactical precision, and she just knocked them all out. Yeah. The only thing was she had superhero armor, because I was like, how just they go out once you attack them? It's like it felt like a game almost. Yeah. If she attacks you, you're going down. Because she goes into the garage and she's like asking the tech guy, because they locked him in his little hub, and she's asking for positions to shoot them, and she's using like the I forgot what that, I know what it's for, I don't know the name, it looks like a gun, and it's for putting the rivets on the sides of wheels and stuff.
Yeah.
Taking them off.
It was like a nail gun kind of thing.
Yeah,
it was like an air pressure
gun.
gun.
You could fit like a whole wrench.
Yeah.
Not a wrench. She could fit a whole screwdriver in it and
Yeah.
shoot them. And so she was using that thing, which I guess delivers high pressure.
Yeah.
To knock out the soldiers, the heavily trained soldiers. I say that with quotation marks because she had hero armor, in that, like I just said, she shot those and it just one shot everybody.
Yeah.
Think about this when I'm telling you, Bert. She shot a wrench at you and you have bulletproof armor. You have everything on.
Yeah.
You got hit in the chest with a wrench. You going down? All right. You. It wasn't even the pointy side.
But yo, you gotta remember it has most of the weight on the screwdriver is on the back. It's on the butt of the screwdriver. So you're getting shot with a full air pressure to the chest. That shit gonna hurt. It's like a beanbag.
She was across the room. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I don't know how much pressure that shit had, but say for instance, we watched Harley Quinn yesterday.
Okay.
Fucking, she had the beanbags and the fucking shotgun. Imagine getting shot with that with a beanbag.
No, I don't know. I don't want to. No.
But yeah.
Yeah. So she had hero armor. So you gotta take, again, this is a movie of its time.
Yeah.
Hyper realism wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah.
Like, and we kind of take that for granted.
Yeah.
Movies like John Wick.
Yeah.
Where the actor will go through the training to do everything properly and everything themselves.
Yeah.
And even like Black Widow and like what was it in her debut in Iron Man 2, right?
Yeah.
Like Scarlett Johansson was doing like legit shit to take people out. Like it wasn't that the only thing I still get on that movie for doing that camera angle bullshit. I hate those things. But funny enough, Tomb Raider didn't do that.
No.
Because I guess for the close-ups, she just choreographed the hell out of it. But like for anything that was like further away, they just used a stunt double.
Yeah,
they did not want you knowing. Nah, man.
But they went directly on her face like so many times, especially like during the whole movie. Like they had so many close-ups on her reactions and things like that. So after the big fight scene,
so like this is probably the best fight scene in the movie. I would say.
Yeah,
not the best.
It was the best.
Time.
I guess it was the best fight scene for the movie. I had my problems with it because it was just a lot of dumb shit that was happening that was inconvenient, too convenient in a way, and I was just like, you are wearing sandals. Your ass will be slipping.
Son, let me tell you. It's just certain things, like how she generate enough force with that knife to cut through the bungee in one clean swipe.
Yeah.
Imagine that. We just got done talking about how tiny that woman is. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
That knife is that sharp? Alright. But anyway, okay, so they get what they came for still.
Yeah.
And a funny scene with a butler, he bulletproofed up and put on slippers and came down with the shotgun. But even her like secondary security couldn't stop them from getting what they wanted.
Yeah.
They got the compass basically.
Yeah.
So she knew who she got double crossed by.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, again, with the badassness of her character, then that was it. Her mission was set to go to retrieve that and to I guess solve the entire mystery of the other piece.
Yeah.
Again, this is still before she gets the realization that the father had more information than she gave her.
Yeah.
The only thing, here's more convenient things. Yeah. Earlier that day, she had got a note from her father that he had postmarked to be delivered on that day.
Yeah.
And basically gave her the quest of you gotta go find this thing.
Yeah.
Funny scene where the black UPS dude came in and was like, yo, what just happened? And he's like, Miss Croft. And she delivered the letter, so it was that. So she had her mission to go to, I guess, Thailand to solve this. So again, she gets there in spectacular fashion, I would say.
Yeah.
Because she calls in a favor. You see a picture of her before she leaves, like she was in like, I guess like the SEALs or something. I don't know, some special services, because it was her. It's her and Daniel Craig's character.
Yeah.
With like, you know, like I guess
A platoon.
tactical armor and like, you know, for guns in their hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like they're specially trained and stuff. So again, giving you more context for why they can do the crazy things they do.
Yeah.
And
Stick
then,
on walls.
yo, man, this is a convenience the movie. It really is.
Yeah. So they actually go to a tomb.
Yeah.
Yay!
They raided a tomb.
They raided a tomb. The name. Yay! Tomb.
The bad guy has the natives opening the tomb with giant ropes, which is like, why couldn't you just use trucks?
Yeah.
Why you make them little people do that? Whatever. It's terrible. And it was one of my favorite scenes in the movie of she's scouting the area. Oh, she was airdropped from a jumbo jet.
Yeah.
In her Jeep.
Yep.
And she para-jeeped down to the island
with the Jeep.
In the Jeep. Like it was just nuts. But she got it like that. So she called in some favors. But she's scouting the area. She sees the main villain, and he's just chilling. And he's not just chilling on the side. He's doing the most lavish chilling.
Yeah.
He's got like a little shrine to him, and he's on pillows. And then I think there's like a lady fanning him.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, he's so ridiculous. I love that. It's so dumb. And then Daniel Craig's character gets down in the pit with the guys, and then they pull the door open. And then at the same time, her Tomb Raider is being led into the temple by like a little girl, but is she like a spirit or an actual little girl who just hangs out in the ruins? I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust her.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust her either. She's trying to get a poison or something.
Try to bite me.
You need to sell you the antidote.
Kids fucking bite.
Yes, they do. It's terrible. Terrible.
Man.
So they basically, Lara and the villain get into the tomb at the same time. They don't know she's there. She finds out that they're there first, obviously. So she's hiding in the ceiling because she comes in a higher area than them and watches them come in. So the main bad guy brings the compass. It's showtime. He has Daniel Craig counting down to the exact time of the eclipse.
Yeah.
They do give you the ominous look around the temple by showing the statues, and this is another realistic Tomb Raider thing. In the first game, you actually fight like living statues.
Yeah.
And I think it's the second. No, I think it might be the third game where like there's a whole series of that shit. It's not good, but like, so it's a thing. You look at it and you go, "Oh shit, are they really gonna do living statues?" And you'll see. So this is kind of a big plot point. Everybody converges. They're in Thailand at the same time in the temple when the eclipse is about to happen, and she calls out to them because they're about to fuck everything.
Yep.
Because she finds that there's one on the ceiling that's the actual place where you're supposed to put the compass. Then there's this moment of like, hey, I'll shoot you. You better not be lying to me. And then, Daniel Craig's character's like, yeah, you better hurry up, because he starts counting 10, 9, 8, and then the villain throws the thing to her, and she wasn't lying. The sequence goes down, and funny, she doesn't put it in exactly at the time. I noticed that. She just jams the shit in there, and it still works anyway.
Because she's Tomb Raider.
Because she's the Tomb Raider,
yeah. She's the
then you get the kind of subtitle.
Yeah.
Of the movie, like the People of Light.
Yeah.
Because that's not the subtitle of this actual movie, but they mentioned that early, the People of Light.
Yeah.
And then the whole light show happens. The sun, is sunlight because it's still bright out.
I guess
even though it's eclipsed there.
I don't know.
So the sun hits the thing, the little jar, the big jar, excuse me, and then like it. Oh, I'm blind, and then it shoots into the place where he would have put the compass.
Yeah. And
then, like, I guess it's supposed to be mercury. I don't know what that liquid is. This is liquid that bubbles up, and then you see the other half.
Most likely it's lava.
Of like it's like this metallic substance that starts bubbling, and then the triangle comes out, the other half. So they see it. She's scheming already. And then to finish everything is this log is piercing the thing. But she was up there. She pierced it. That's when the water spray, the stuff came out.
Yeah.
And she was just like, well, they're all dazed and looking at that shit like, wow, what is that? She was on the side of the log and she snatched the thing away from them and ran.
Yep.
So again, she has leverage because she lost her compass. That was her leverage. So now she got that piece they were looking for.
Yeah.
And then that sets off the whole living statues. Oh, Scott Steiner doesn't like that.
Yep. So this is where they find out like where they had to go next, which is like what was it? Siberia.
I see. It was like, it was like a place. I guess not that. Yeah, it is far.
Siberia.
It was like it was
Siberia,
but
yeah.
it was like it was a not real place that they were going to. But yeah, it was in Siberia because remember, like it was an island.
Yeah.
That was off the side, and the people when they got there, it was like little brown people. No, it wasn't like. Yeah, I guess it was.
Yeah.
But they weren't like Russian looking people. They were like Eskimos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
No,
natives.
Eskimos are like, yeah.
So, like, but then but then obviously before that we had the first big CG scene. 90, early. This is 2001 CG
Yeah.
of the living statues and the whole fight with that in
Yeah.
the temple and whatnot. The little dog statues with the wings, and then they were killing all the guards and whatnot, and it was all right.
I didn't like it.
It was like I liked it because of the accuracy. That's the only reason I even cared. I was like, all right, if you're gonna do it, fine. It didn't look great. I didn't like I didn't exactly like how the statues looked. It looked kind of bad.
Yeah.
Kind of janky. But like I knew what they were going for, so it was all right with it. But like, yeah, it was ugly. But like they had a whole thing where we are being chased by the statue and the guards, and then there's a whole kerfluffle, and then she gets out and it's like, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. So now they're all on a plane together after just trying to kill each other. Because that's what happened.
Yeah, they all
They
like
just
team
all
up
take
to
the
get
plane.
this done. Because
Like,
without
he
her,
talks-
you would have had to wait another 5,000 years to do it again.
Not. Yes. So basically to see what her father was talking about, and they also had to meet up in Venice. That's when she like jumps in Daniel Craig's room and calls him a traitor.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I could get you at any time. And he's butt ass naked, almost killed the what do you call it? The room service lady. And so like he tells her that her father was in the Illuminati.
Yeah.
And she doesn't believe him. And then she's trying to figure out whose seat is that in the middle. And he's like, it's not. He keeps avoiding the question, and she's like, it's not your seat, is it? Because that means he's not the leader. He's working for somebody. So then they go through that, and then that's when they say, okay, to get through this, to see it to the end, we'll work together.
Yeah.
So that's before they get on the plane. And then they're on the plane. You see the Illuminati guy, the head, and then tech guys with her, and the rest of the bad guy and his soldiers and whatnot.
Yeah.
And Daniel Craig, because he's a freelancer.
Yeah.
So they're all there. They get to like I said, to the Eskimo village. That little spirit girl shows up again, dressed as a native girl. Like again, like so I don't know who or what that was supposed to be. This little brown girl just following her around the world, telling her, "Hey man, you don't want to go in there." So she has that warning, and now she's like kind of spooked out about going there. But the funny thing was like up until they get inside of this thing, this is for me with a movie drag.
Yeah, this whole time, like I was just waiting for the movie to end. Like
Yeah,
I looked at like after the whole scene with the statues and shit, I paused the movie to see how much time I have left, and it was like 45 minutes. I was like, what?
But yeah, it just felt like it kind of fell flat right there. It was like it was a lull in the action. It was more story, more setting up things. Like again, it's not bad, but it just was like this was not compelling.
Yeah, so when they're in Siberia, they all come out with the new outfits and stuff like that, and Croft's wearing just like a headpiece. Yo, I swear to God, if she didn't have ammonia by the time she got back home, that's bullshit.
Yeah, like, but it was just like you could tell they went on a set somewhere. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Because her ass should have been shivering.
It was no Under Armour back then. What are you wearing, Lara? But then again, maybe you're supposed to believe she's rich. That fabric.
No, she a buckle 5.
Exactly.
There's no way in hell she was not shivering.
Not even exaggerating. She was that thin, like at the time of this movie.
She was
like,
all head, no meat. Like
all head, all lips.
All head, no meat. Like, yo, I swear to God, like I would have, like I know for a fact, I would have been there. I would have been freezing my ass off. I would have had the biggest coat they had. I would have killed the bear for his fur to keep me warm because it seemed cold.
I need some heat.
Because there's no way in hell she was not gonna be shivering. So you know that was in the set, and that kind of just blew everything with being in Siberia. Like, yeah, fool. And then she's doing the fucking. Everyone's having trouble with fucking the dogs guiding, and she's doing that shit with one hand. That's like bullshit.
It is absolute bullshit. Convenient again. There we go with the convenience again. She got hero armor.
Anyway, moving on. So they go to the new tomb.
Yeah, basically they and see here's I guess where it's kind of coming to ahead with like Tomb Raider 1, because this is more or less like I guess like Atlantis-ish stuff. This is an undiscovered artifact that has immense power and whatever. So there's like that, and then that's what they're looking for is like the second piece to unite, because they have the compass and one half. Yeah. And so now they need to find a way to get inside. So they get in there with the dogs, and they get to the contraption that looks like a giant, like almost like a, what do you call that thing with the planet?
Yeah,
the planet's like spin.
Yeah, it's like a, I don't know, it's like a solar system kind of.
Almost like a because the sun is in the middle and the planets are spinning around it.
So
it has a more
also had the Illuminati leader there with them as well. Yeah,
so they have the leader. They have the main villain, and then they have Tomb Raider and her, tech guy. Well, the tech guy stayed back. Yeah. So it's just Tomb Raider and Daniel Craig. He's the only one that's kind of on her side. So basically, it's just her on her own. But they're trying to. This is it right now. They need to figure this out because the more time they waste, the more time. It's closer to that 5,000 years they gotta have to wait. Yeah. So they're trying to figure out the giant contraption, because again, it's kind of cool that they went in here, nobody knew shit. Yeah. And like realistically use the things at their disposal to find this out. Like that wasn't too convenient, because when she saw the dog go through the thing, and you saw the insides of the dog, like, and they show like it slowed down in midair also. Like that was like, again, it was foreshadowing, but at least it was there for you to see it, right? Yeah. Because they told you this place is full of unstable things. So it's cool. You get to see supernatural shit happen again. They had the living statues. Now you get to see the time distortions. Yeah. So they send all the soldiers, and then Daniel Craig jumps in, and they're trying to like find out where on this thing the last piece is. Yeah. And she comes up with a plan to throw the compass into the time distortion, and then it falls apart. Yeah. And I guess the one thing that she needed was the smallest piece. Yeah. Which was a piece of the triangle. Yeah. So that's basically what let them put it together. Yeah. The two halves, because they got the one from the middle inside of the sun. Because that's what she figured it was, because the time distortion, I guess it was like around that thing in the middle. Yeah. So she ended up going in there and getting it. So she had the actual two pieces, and then when she gave it to them, it didn't work. Yeah. And then he got greedy. Again, yeah, basically, because it was when the Illuminati guy had the two pieces, and he was giving the speech. Yeah. And then he was like, enough with this. And then he just put his hand up and had them kill the Illuminati guy because, he's evil. Of course he's going to usurp the guy.
And then he tried to put the triangle together, but it didn't work.
No mas. No bueno.
And then realizing Lara knew this solution to the thing. The villain pretty much tries to kill West.
Yes, to make her do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
To make her solve the puzzle. Yeah. I mean, that was kind of cool. It's fucked up, but it was kind of cool. So Daniel Craig is stabbed in the chest with a flying knife, and he falls in the water. So she watches him die, but she can't save him because he gets caught up in the contraption.
Yeah.
So there's an emotional moment with them. So you see, she really cares for him because she. It's interesting. Okay, so when she does the time thing, so she basically what she does is she, like I said, throws the compass, gets the piece, drops it in, and activates the triangle. But what they don't tell you is when it happens, I guess that field that showed up would like explode around it. So it was this really cheesy scene of Lara and the villain both running up a pyramid because the symbol is the all-seeing eye.
Yeah,
that's the main thing. So that's especially why the Illuminati want it, because it's their symbol.
Yep.
So that part was just like, that's really just, what is this shit? So when they show them running up the temple, she beats him up there, and then he just falls into the abyss. So I was like, what the fuck just happened? What was that in their mind? But that part I did not get.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I just didn't get it. So she comes back, she has the power, and she doesn't come back yet. She's inside, I guess, the past.
She talks to her father.
Yeah, she gets the information from him, and then she's like, why didn't you tell me about the Illuminati? This is the first thing she says. And then he gives the explanation, but he also says, you're in the time, you're in whatever this is, this distortion, you're in my past, you're in your past, and your present or something like that. He's like, my past, your present, I think it was. Yeah. And then she's like, but you can't use the power for this. Yeah. So he's still being noble and whatnot about it. And again, I guess it kind of plays to his character that he's not like freaked the fuck out. Yeah. Because he's already in the Illuminati. He knows these things potentially can happen. Yeah. But he's telling her, you can't do this. Yeah. And then it's kind of, I don't know, I like the scene because then she kind of cracks. Yeah. And she's like, but it's not fair. And it's like, I know it's not fair, but like, you got to go back. Yeah. But you almost see, like in the character of Tomb Raider, where she doesn't want to go back. And like, at least that's a little bit of, that's a little bit deeper than they were at this, up until this point in the movie. Yeah. So I like that.
So now she manipulates time. She saves West from the and stabs Powell instead. And then
she
destroys the triangle
in midair. Yeah. Yes. And reverses the time. Yep. And it just stabs him and kills him. Well, it doesn't kill him. She hoped it would kill him. It just hit him in the fucking shoulder.
For every person she stabbed, she killed, this would be the one that she stabs and he lives.
But she didn't kill him. That's the thing. That's why I was asking. That's why I was telling you.
She probably put a lot of people in the hospital that are about to die.
But the movie just it dumbfounded me. She only kills one person. Yeah. Willingly, like murders, like even the part in the temple with the guns and stuff and the swords and all that. She only kills the statues. Yeah. She only shoots the robot. She only like disables the soldiers. She only shoots the statues with guns. Like everything that's a human, she literally doesn't kill. It's just weird.
Technically, the one person that died, it was because of the mechanism, not the fucking, not her.
Yeah. No. I mean, like fuck. Like it's interesting. Yeah. That's it. And I wonder when, because they want to do Uncharted. Yeah. Nathan Drake is a murderer. Yeah. In the game. I wonder if they frame it like that, where he just doesn't kill people. But that's interesting. But anyway, like, so they have the big showdown. She has to finish him because she would have left him. But he pulls out the pocket watch from the earlier in the movie, meaning he killed her father. Yeah. And then they flash back to him shooting the father in the face. just on a CG cliff. Like, it's fucked up.
Yeah, and then they just had the two guns together, and he's like, no guns. And then that have been like kung fu fighting.
How did you manipulate this woman into having a fist fight with you after you admitted you just murked her dad?
You're like, oh, no guns. What, you want a blood sport now?
I got honest. If I was her, I would have pulled out a knife and stabbed him in the throat.
I would have faked it, drop a gun, and pull out another gun and shoot his head.
Something.
Yeah, that kind of, it was just like, yeah.
But you see what I mean, Mark? How he was such a Bond villain, even on his supposed deathbed. I've got one more trap for you. Like,
and then after she kills him, she retrieves the father's pocket
he
watch.
Loses in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, he loses.
She gives him a fatality. She chops him in the Adam's apple, and he just dies.
It was a better fatality than that animal mortality annihilation, at least.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But again, you have a little fight scene. She beats him and kills him, and then that's it. She escaped the temple in the most Tomb-Raider-esque way, where she slides with the dogs on her feet.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
she gets her father's pocket watch.
Yeah, she gets the watch. She escapes and basically wraps everything up immediately with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then they almost immediately go to like what would be a post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Is this her back at the mansion with a dress on? So like the butler's freaking out because there was a scene earlier about a woman should be modest, and like a lady should be, but Tomb Raider's no lady. Ha ha ha. So she's got the dress and a hat on. She goes to, I guess, say goodbye.
Yeah, she after visiting.
She says to her dad.
Yeah, she was visiting her father's memorial. She finds Bryce has reprogrammed the robot, and Hillary presented her with the pistols. And she smiles.
New pistols, because her original ones were black. Now she got the ones from the game.
Yes.
So
yes. That's Tomb Raider.
That's Tomb Raider with her with the action pose and the hat on. Yeah. Again, completely standard movie, a product of its time, and because it's such a product of its time, is just like that kind of hurts it.
Yeah,
there's too much Matrix in it in the beginning. Too like the music kind of like whatever. I'm not mad, but like it puts it in a time and place.
Fucking Crystal Method and fucking Fatboy Slim. And U2 had the single for this song, this soundtrack.
Did. Yo, I forgot.
Elevation,
about that.
I think.
Yep, Elevation. Not played in the movie though.
Yeah. They've played in the credits.
In the credits, but not in the movie.
Yeah, Crystal Method and Fatboy Slim song played in the thing.
Yeah.
Elevation
again,
on YouTube.
Sorry. Again, like, not bad. I'm not knocking it for it, but legit, like, this is like late 90s.
They had a Get Your Freak On remix on the soundtrack with Nelly Furtado.
Oh, I like that one. That's your shit.
Yeah, this movie, it's not great. It's okay. It's a movie that, again, if it's on TV and I haven't seen this in a while, I'll watch the rest of it. It's not something I'm gonna go back and looking forward to seeing it. I'm not looking forward to seeing the sequel because I didn't like the sequel. So
I didn't see that.
It's gonna be interesting to see where it goes from here. But after this one, like when we review this one, I'm gonna write out a list of all our reviews so we could go back to it and then replace certain ones within the top. And we'll do the top whatever number that we get to, and we could have it all ordered.
So this movie, if we were to rate it out of 5, I give it. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. You go first.
Because I like the accuracy, I would give it a 3.
Okay.
But I would never give it higher than that because there's too many things about this movie that is like you said, too convenient. Too much, like, I guess, just current movies and going towards more realism in how you portray even ridiculous stuff.
Yeah,
it's just like some of the stuff just like is stuck in a certain time period for me.
Yeah,
and so like I didn't. Some of it kind of gives me douche chills. Some of it kind of makes me like roll my eyes. Her posture and the fact that she's always got to be presenting chest first. But again, the fact that was on brand for the game is like, yeah, we kind of grown past treating women like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it really was a time and a place. Like Tomb Raider was not made by women.
Yeah.
You can tell. So a lot of that stuff is just like, it gives me douche chills. But other than that, it's not egregiously bad.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I give it a 2.5.
Perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, I give it 2.5. There's things that I thought it was fine. Like again, I think she did good job as Lara Croft, like for the time that it came out and everything like that. But you know what? First of all, the writer of this movie, he did Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and fuck that guy.
Wait. No. Are you serious?
So fuck that guy. And I'm not gonna give him credit for anything. So this one's gonna get a 2.5. It was co-written by the person that did Mortal Kombat Annihilation and Street Fighter the movie.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Makes so much sense.
So our listing of the video game movies right now, I think me and you, our listing is pretty much on kind of the same right now. We haven't had like one that we had like such a different view on.
Yeah,
So
I can say that. I can definitely say that.
like Mortal Kombat.
Probably, you know what's funny? Probably the one we had the most difference on, but we still. No, that I was gonna say the one that we probably had the most difference on, but we still like was Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I thought I got the camp because I knew it felt like a kids movie, but it was like, yeah, it was kind of bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like, I wouldn't admit that because I really like that movie. I like that movie. I would never call it that. It's eccentric.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But other than that, no, pretty much you could see. I think that's the thing. Maybe that's kind of used to be limiting about video game movies before a certain time was that they were kind of one note.
Yeah.
You could there was no twist or turn that was gonna make you go, wow, this movie's doing something different.
Yeah.
They were kind of just, I can see A to B to C.
So
Let's go.
Your number one is Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, still.
And that's number one. Number two, I say, was Super Mario Brothers.
Yep, I would agree.
So I'm putting that. I'm actually making a list right now, so we have it. Then we could just update it. Super Mario. Number three, I think, was Double Dragon.
Yeah. Man, why is that movie so good?
You know what? I actually defended. We were talking about this, and I work with a couple of coworkers, and they remember the movie second. I was like, yo, this is something that opened my mind to this movie. One, it was fucking T2 was amazing in it, but other than that, it was like you opened my eyes into this is actually the storyline of fucking Double Dragon.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's weird.
So your number four, which one would it be?
Number four, Street Fighter. Mario Brothers. Wait. Well, so first one was
Mortal
Street Fighter,
Kombat.
First one was Mortal Kombat. Second one was Mario.
Double Dragon.
Third one was Double Dragon. So then it's Street Fighter.
Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Is it Street Fighter mine? Out of this list, yeah, I'll say Street Fighter. So, but I just had a lower score than you for Street Fighter, but Street Fighter. Your number five.
What's left?
Wing Commander,
There's Wing
Lara
Commander
Croft, Tomb
and
Raider, and Mortal Kombat.
I kind of like this more than Wing Commander.
Yeah,
like I said, Wing Commander, it hit a spot where it was just kind of like dry for me. This
I agree.
was like, all right, it's Tomb Raider.
Okay, Tomb Raider. Oh yeah, pretty much our countdown is the same. Wing Commander would be number 6.
Yeah.
Because Mortal Kombat is not going anywhere.
Oh, Lord. Annihilation can stay in the dumpster.
Yeah. Wing Commander. And Mortal Kombat. I'm just gonna put Mortal Kombat 2.
Why is Hulk Hogan outside revving his motorcycle? Come on, brother.
Next week, our verdict will be on the first Resident Evil movie.
Damn, already?
Yep. So that will be our verdict for next week. It will be for Resident Evil, starring Mila Jovovich.
Yo, and was that Michelle Rodriguez's like first like big on-screen role? Because she was a major character.
I
But
think
not like a,
no. I think her big break was girl. I think it was Girl Fight.
Oh, okay. Was that
And-
before Resident Evil?
Yeah. And then she did little cameos, and then she did Resident Evil, and then some other and Fast and Furious and shit like that. But yeah, next week is Resident Evil. The following week is Tomb Raider: Cradle of Life, which was the second Tomb Raider movie. And then, god damn, we're gonna have so many fucking Resident Evils, dude.
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil, there's like 7 fucking movies, and they all came in theaters, and y'all all went to see them. So basically, they made them fucking money.
Yeah.
And they kept making
I
them.
only saw one in the... Damn, I did. I only saw one in the theater.
So the list of the next couple of weeks, we have Resident Evil next week. We have Lara Croft Tomb Raider: The Cradle of Life the following week. Week 3, we will have House of the Dead, our first Eli Bull movie.
No. Well, there's time for that one, right?
Yeah. And then we have Resident Evil Apocalypse as number 4, week 4. Week 5 will be Alone in the Dark, and then Doom. So we have a lot of that shitty movies.
Yeah, it is. Wow, it's not a good one. I mean, no. Apocalypse is Apocalypse the second Resident Evil?
That's the one with Nemesis, yeah.
That one's at least a little bit funny with Mike Epps.
Yeah.
You get zombie holes.
So we doing this for you who don't have to. So definitely check us out and check out all the verdicts that we're doing. This is the video game movie marathon of live action movies. So next week, yeah, Resident Evil will be next week.
Ooh. Oh boy. I got a picture that describes my face. Having to watch these movies. I'll send it to you. It's funny. It's of the cast from Resident Evil. It's just look at Mila Jovovich's face. It's like, oh no.
You get your first bush.
Oh, because that's right. Alice was butt ass naked in that one. Her face especially. It's like,
yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So this will be the next movie. Please check out all our other podcasts. We just did 2 live podcasts. You could catch them on YouTube, or you can catch the nice sounding ones with all the editing down the road. We did Not a Trekkie for Attack of the Clones. We did Shell Shock for Turtles TMNT, the 2007 CGI movie. So stay tuned to check those out. Check out our last cast that came out. We had the Game of Rage podcast, episode 2. We talked about Sonic Spinball, our challenges, and things like that. This week I got Paperboy. He got Spider-Man and the X-Men. Check out the Morpher cast, which should be coming up soon as well. And also, yeah, that's about it. And yeah, check out the Wrestling Babble podcast we just recorded. Check out the Guest Special podcast and all that stuff. Wrap it up.
Scott Steiner is not having.
Scott Steiner is not having the wrap up, so I'll do mine first. Follow me on all social medias. Mark with the Mic on YouTube, SoundCloud, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, Twitch TV. All Mark with the Mic. Follow our Facebook pages, the RedCycloneInc and the Wrestling Babble pages. We're very active on there. Check out our other casts on the SoundCloud. We have Shell Shock, Not a Trekkie, the Morphin Cast, and the Games of Rage podcast. We are really getting those things going. We're getting a lot of good responses, so we're trying to keep building a community after that. And
Check it out.
And follow everything RedCycloneInc, and he'll put them out because Scott Steiner left.
Yeah, oh my goodness, he got his fire truck and left. So make sure you check out anything and everything RedCycloneInc, and that's on YouTube. And SoundCloud, where you can hear not only this but the Wrestling Babble podcast. You can check out RedCycloneInc on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and we have a WordPress. Recently, I've been putting up a new playthrough for the RedCycloneInc YouTube, and that's
yes, I actually watched the first one fully.
Okay, what is now considered a retro game, the PS2 game Onimusha 3.
Yes.
Demon Team. Pretty good.
We actually talked
It's fun
about
to play.
this a couple of weeks ago on the podcast.
It's fun to play. I actually like to play. So I'm definitely going to be finishing that up. It's probably going to be a while, so stay tuned to that. Check those episodes out. I'll try to be putting them up every day or every other day. Mostly every day. Keep them short.
Cool.
If you like Jean Reno, you might like this game. Guess
Yes.
what? He stops talking in the first hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, they swap in an English voice because there's a weird thing in that game. And I'll just give you a small little. In that game, the main character speaks Japanese, right?
Yeah.
But in the game, he speaks English because back then they weren't doing the translation. Yakuza, you know how Yakuza presents their games to us now?
Yeah.
Where they just this is from Japan. They speak Japanese with subtitles. Sorry.
Yeah.
And back then they couldn't do that because Americans wouldn't buy the game.
Yeah.
So they had to voice it only in English. There's no Japanese language option. So the game is weird because they tried to do a cool thing. In Japan, the main character only speaks Japanese.
Yeah.
And Jean Reno's character only speaks French.
Yeah.
In America, the main character speaks English, and Jean Reno's character has to speak English.
Yeah.
So they switched the character to an English voice actor. So Jean Reno doesn't even voice the character for that much.
Boo.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks. So, yeah, you have to take that caveat. I wish I could play the Japanese one, but it's too much reading.
Yeah.
But so you have to deal with that. But hey, it's cool. He was in a video game, and it was
Yep.
good.
Yep.
Check that out.
All right. We'll wrap this up. Peace
Yes,
out.
sir.
Always
Make sure
remember,
you,
follow the chinkies.
Follow him with that wet sandwich. 6 feet.
Peace out, laters, and try to enjoy the beautiful day. Wear a mask and there's gonna be a lot of people with fucking tan lines on their face.
You could take an umbrella outside. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, you gotta wear masks in most places in public.
No, you can take an umbrella when it's sunny out.
Yeah.
You could be a weirdo with an umbrella,
That's true.
like Michael Jackson.
And be
Have an
pale.
umbrella and a mask.
You ever seen the meme like Michael Jackson? Y'all laughed at Michael Jackson doing this shit back then.
Mm-hmm. That's
Look
why I
at-
brought him on.
Look at y'all now, motherfucker. Anyway,
No
Peace
mask, no
out.
service.
yes. Peace out, laters. All right, and then next week, Resident Evil will be the verdict. And you know one thing Resident Evil has good?
What's that?
The soundtrack has a good soundtrack.
I don't remember this.
Had Slipknot. Slipknot. Oh, I think it was Corey Taylor that produced.